A commenter on one of the Medium pieces the other day asked me, what my definition of sin is. I think that might, like I said to them, I think that might be an entire piece unto itself. To get a really good definition of that. First, it's not even a word that I really even use. Again, not really being raised in a Christian tradition or living in one. I mean, I was kind of raised in one, but I didn't pay it much mind as a kid. So that's why I use the word sometimes, I guess. It's out of habit, but I don't. I really think of it more like the Buddhists do. I think there's things which earn you good karma and things that earn you bad karma. And there are things that slow your progress towards enlightenment. And I think a lot of what Christians call sin kind of wraps both of those things up into one concept, but I don't think they really are the same. Like, to me, what I would call sin, or is the things that earn bad karma, predominantly is, like I said in one video, there's two rules, things that hurt other people and things that hurt yourself. And I think the karma is the first part and the path to enlightenment is the second part. Of course, that's really a gross oversimplification. Obviously, you can hurt other people through inaction or through, secondary results, collateral damage, that sort of thing. And it's not a clear-cut thing. So I would say what is definitely, unquestionably sin, or something that earns bad karma, is anything that violates the rights of another person, anything that violates the equality or sovereignty of another person. Whether that's, as the libertarians would say, through force or fraud, but I think they also need to add through manipulation, through economic coercion, any other kind of form of coercion. And I guess I would now have to add witchcraft, apparently. But yeah, anything that violates the sovereignty or equality of another person, to me, that's felonious sin, I guess. That's the kind of sin that gets you kicked out of the light, or should. The stuff that hurts yourself, smoking, doing drugs, drinking, not exercising, not taking care of the temple, or whatever they want to call that. The Christians might call that kind of thing a sin. I don't think the Buddhists would say that that's bad karma. Maybe they would. Don't know their ideology that well. I don't think they consider that bad karma, but I think they would consider that something which slows your path to enlightenment. And I could see it. I would see it that way. That's how I would see it, I think. And I've done a whole lot of that stuff. And I say, and when God and Jesus came to me, they didn't seem to kick me out of the light for it, although I did get a scolding. And I quit smoking cigarettes about a week later. Quit smoking weed within about 3 weeks. So, I heard them. It's definitely important. I don't want to sound like I'm discounting it. But I think, if we're going to put all that stuff under one category, I'll call it all sin, then I think there's, felonious sin and misdemeanor sin, I guess. And I think the stuff that hurts other people, especially if it's deliberate, that's the felonious stuff. Things that hurt yourself or slow your path to enlightenment. Whether it's, not taking care of your health, or just doing things that will get you out of alignment, not flowing with the way. That's misdemeanor sin, I guess. But that still doesn't quite cover it, because like I said, there is those kind of gray areas, things like, you know, well, say you own a house and it's been vacant and somebody starts squatting in it and you kick them out. You're hurting them, but they violated your rights first. So, you know, that's when you get into gray area. Of course, then we can go into the world of politics, which is exactly why politics and morality are not the same and should not be conflated. Because I think in that case, the legal case is very clear. You're the one who's in the right. Morally speaking, though, I don't know. Maybe you should let the person squat if they need the house more than you do. I don't know. I'm not calling judgment on that one way or another. I'm just saying I think there's more room to say that there's a moral case there, even if the legal case is pretty clearly in your favor. And that might work the other way around in other cases too. I'm just saying that's why those are and should be separate concepts. I still need to give my whole speech about natural rights and all that, but I think I pretty well covered it with that one statement the other day. Well, not really, but we'll come back to that later.